Salute, Knicks Nation. As the Knicks go down in Utah, we're going to break it down, give out the grades tonight, talk about why the New York Knicks blew this one in an ugly game from start to finish. The New York Knicks dug themselves a hole after a lackluster second quarter, giving up a 10-point lead, letting the Utah Jazz get comfortable, shoot threes after they've been a poor three-point shooting team. A late fake comeback falls short, right? And we blew this opportunity, fam. Frustrating night, awful loss. Worst loss of the season, man. No other way to slice it. We're going to talk about this one. We're going to give out the grades and I look at the rest of this West Coast trip. But this was not in the script, right? Losing this one tonight. A late Utah road trip kick-started, right, in ugly fashion. We blew a great game from Julius Randle, who was beasting early. He was in double digits at the end of the first quarter, but RJ Barrett had a poor night, didn't have it going. Emmanuel quickly had limited opportunities. He was in a groove early in the game, but Jalen Brunson struggled tonight. The Jazz were physical. The referees had a poor officiating game as well, but the poor defense continues, giving up 117 to a bad Utah Jazz team, man. Salute to the chat, salute replay squad. Knicks Nation, man. No excuses for blowing this one tonight, man. What the New York Knicks have to do now is recover and pull out some of these tough games coming up, which we'll talk about. Phoenix, the Clippers, the Lakers coming up, and then back to Brooklyn, fam. But yeah, appreciate you for rocking out after such a bad game. But we've got a lot to talk about. Taj Gibson back in the fold for the New York Knicks. We'll talk about that pickup, and what you guys think. I'll give you my thoughts on that moving forward. But all about tonight, man. The New York Knicks blew so many free throws, about 9 free throws, which would have given the Knicks this win. But you can't really blame it on that because it shouldn't have even come down to that. Really, the New York Knicks were just horrendous defensively. We let the Utah Jazz shoot way too good. And I salute Will. And as the chat piles through, we're going to give out the grades. We've got to be ruthless tonight because, to me, this was the worst loss of the season against a team that was struggling coming in. And you thought, I thought that the New York Knicks would want to make a statement, early in this West Coast trip and really get off to a good start. But it went completely against the script for me. And I do hope that we make up for it, in these tough games. But we've really dug ourselves a hole now as the New York Knicks go to 13-10. On the season, and what that means is we're gonna, find ourselves in a dogfight now in the East. There's teams, that were hot on our tails, and right now losing this one, we're gonna have to really start to pull off some tough games. So tonight was the Knicks' first loss of the season to a below sub 500 team, and we are 11-1 now against bad teams, but. Julius Randle started well. He was beasting. He was moving the ball, finished with 32 points. But we let Colin Sexton, Larry Markkinen in the second quarter, after the Knicks finished the first quarter up 9 or 10. It was a 31-22 at the end of the first quarter. The Knicks started amazing. They were beasting. Randle was getting into the paint, finding Sims in the dunker spot. The Knicks were hustling, but we weren't shooting the rock at all. 1 of 15 for both teams combined from three-point land. The first quarter was quite ugly, but the New York Knicks were getting into the paint. Right? IQ had 8 points in 5 minutes early, and Randle finished with 14 points in the end of the first quarter. But then the second quarter is when the woes started. When the Utah Jazz came out, Larry Markkinen was raining threes, and they went on a huge run, right? A 14-point turnaround. The Jazz went up 9, believe it or not, in the second quarter. The New York Knicks defense was just suffering. Layup lines, dreaded drop coverage, not quick on the switches, just not locked in. It's inexcusable to not be locked in on a game like this. I mean, we need to be taking care of business. And we just didn't. We dropped the ball. Mitchell Robinson, we got through the Toronto game without him, but we're really seeing his impact missed tonight. We welcome in Taj Gibson. We'll talk about him later, but Jericho Sims didn't offer what he did in the other game. Isaiah Hartenstein was the big difference. He struggled tonight. Had a dreaded foul at the end of the third, giving Markkanen 3 shots from the foul line. There was 0.2 of a second left to end the third, and the Knicks had a brutal foul. Ihart sending Markkanen to the line, and at the end of the third, it was 84-89. The Knicks were down 5 after a bad third quarter, trading buckets, more poor defense. But that fourth quarter was just straight trash, man. It was raggedy from the beginning. We got down 11. Inexcusable. Taylor Horton-Tucker started beasting. He was lucky to get away with a charge. I felt he ran through Brunson's chest. Jazz got that call. I thought the refs were absolutely atrocious tonight. And the Knicks found themselves down 17 in the fourth quarter. You heard correctly. But the New York Knicks were in it still. They were missing some free throws, though. Grimes struggled tonight. Missed both free throws. And we ended up cutting the lead to 5 with more than enough time to play. It was about 2.5 minutes. We cut it to 5. But we were jacking up threes late. We had a chance to tie it. Down 3. Josh Hart had a wide open 3 missed. We got the rebound. Jalen Brunson rose up for a 3 as well. I thought he had more time. That was a bad shot from JB. Unfortunately, we didn't get the rebound after 2 3-point chances to tie it with about a minute and a half remaining. And it was the foul game. After that, we still had 2 timeouts. But, man, it shouldn't have even come down to that. Bottom line, as we see in the stats, man. As buzzer beaters here, man. Appreciate you, Will. How you guys feeling after this loss, man? I want to hear your thoughts as well. No topic out of bounds after this one. Worst loss of the season. Just as I was doing the stats, before the game, we're 5th in the league in 3-point shooting percentage. And boy, did it come crashing down. We shot 23% from 3, and we let a Porsche 3-point shooting team, Utah, shoot 38%, fam. Poor coverage, poor drop coverage, perimeter defense stunk. And size, guys. Coach Johnny's in the building. We went back to ISO ball. Yeah, disappointing because Randall, had a good game, but we'll look at the plus minuses in a minute, fam. Our role players really let us down in this one. And of course, Brunson and RJ too. But yeah, Grimes, Hart, and Ihart, guys that have, been consistent for us recently, absolutely were buns tonight. Straight cheeks. Really? Yeah, and we definitely missed Mitch, It's been a layup line even the last couple games with Mitch. But, with that said, their role players stepped up. Got to give them credit. Kelly Olynyk, 10 rebounds. Randall with 12. But yeah, Markkanen, THT, and Sexton carried the scoring load for them. And the assists, we were badly punished. 21 assists to 31 from Utah. We did force some steals late. That's why we have 10 steals. We didn't give up at the end. Credit to the Knicks. They did fight. But they knew they really messed up. They messed up big time, guys, with this one. Offensively we froze. A lot of ball hogs, coach. But to me, the defense tonight, we should never have got down at 17. And the second quarter was where this game swung. 9-point lead. Things were going cruisy. End of the first quarter. 31 to 22 up. And then to find ourselves in a 14-point turnaround, find ourselves down in the second. I thought the bench was raggedy. And then the substitutions were poor. from Tibbs too. We've got to give the grades to Tibbs. But yeah, we had 8 turnovers, buzzer beater. We forced the Utah Jazz to 15 turnovers. So that's what kept us in the game. Otherwise, it would have been curtains earlier. To find ourselves down 17, missing all those free throws, 68% from free throw. As I now bring up the box score, fam. Look at these culprits from free throw. We were 22 of 32, right? 68%, missed 10 free throws. Jalen Brunson, 11 of 16. That's game right there. That's going to reflect his grade tonight. Quentin Grimes struggled, 0 of 2. Right, we wouldn't have needed to shoot a 3 if Grimes, hit at least one of those free throws late. So I point to that. He didn't help us in that situation. And of course, the 2 threes late missed. The Hart one was excellent. It was wide open. That would have tied it. But I thought the second one was poor from Brunson. Right. Probably Brunson's worst game of the season. I'm feeling that in the heat of the moment. He was 6 of 19, 31%. Missed all 6 of his threes. Missed 5 free throws. Got 8 assists, but 3 turnovers. 23 points. The box score says he was a +9, but Brunson was just trying to play hero ball, fam, late. Trying to draw fouls. Now, a lot of them were fouls, but he just wasn't getting the call tonight, man. The refs were absolutely horrendous, man. I don't know what else to say, man. I just want to shout you guys out, and get all this frustration out. Will says poor free throw shooting. Yeah, man, definitely. That was what killed us late. The defense is what killed us from the second quarter onwards, for me. Failure to get stops, But of course, another great performance from Randall offensively, 14 of 23, 60%, 2 of 6, 33% from deep. Hit his both free throws, 12 boards, 6 assists, and 32 points, 13 plus in the plus-minus. Played basically with 8 minutes remaining in the third, played with 4 fouls, and didn't finish with any more than 4 fouls. So he wasn't able to be as aggressive defensively, but at least he stayed in the game. But RJ Barrett, man, was benched, obviously late, was struggling, 3 of 16, 0 of 7 from deep, -4, 9 points, 2 assists, 6 boards. So RJ Barrett's worst performance of the night too. Isaiah Hartenstein's worst performance for me, just in terms of discipline. And one of Josh Hart's worst performances as well. 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 4 from deep. He hits one of those threes at least, being 0 of 4, and we have a chance to tie it or win. So, although this one was a fine margin late, it was an inexcusable loss for me, and we're going to have to make up for it, like I said now, and beat a good team. We have Kevin Durant back, Bradley Beal, and Booker returned for their first game of the season. We'll look at that. We'll preview that. There's some crazy stuff going on tonight around the league. Giannis Antetokounmpo, career high, 64 points. Bucks organization record as well. Some crazy ish late in that game. The Pacers stole the game ball from him. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, from tonight, once we're giving out the grades, we just got to throw this one in the trash, man. Obviously, Jericho Sims starting. iHeart coming off the bench, but just not able to produce, man. We let too many of those guys get loose. THT late as well. I thought DiVincenzo played a very solid game. 6 of 13, 7 rebounds, 4 steals, 21 points from Devo. He was keeping us in it, shooting 44% from deep as well. Obviously, Quickly deserves a shout-out too. 15 points, was 3 of 4 from deep, and 6 of 8 from the field. But, yeah, the rotations were poor tonight. Quickly should have come in earlier in the second. He had it going, and he sat Randall too long as well. And we just blew the lead in the second quarter. But obviously a credit to Markkanen, the shooting. The Utah Jazz, we just caught them on a hot night. It sucks, man. CAA's in the building. What's good? Same old Knicks. Joe Long, salute. Beast of the East. JD, Johnny Davis, says, I forgot Barrett even played tonight. Yep. The frustrations, the inconsistencies continue. RJ Barrett, to me, we're praising him last game. He bounced back, having 2 solid games in a row. But then tonight, man, they laid an egg. He laid an egg as well on the road in Utah. We can't blame fatigue. There's going to be talk about altitude, all of that. I get it. Teams aren't acclimated to Utah at altitude. But this is the first game of the road trip. Come on, man. The Knicks got no excuses tonight. We threw this one away. Now, the Jazz played well enough to steal it from us, but we gave this one to them, especially late. We could have still won it. One of our worst performances of the season, and we still could have won. So that tells you, fam. So, I mean, we've got to start with Julius Randle and his performance tonight. So we'll give out Randle's grade, and we'll go through each and every player, fam, and give our thoughts. Look, Randle was absolutely fantastic early. 10 points at the end of the first quarter. I think all 14 points at the end of the half. 14 at the end of the first quarter, actually. Yeah, he was beasting. But then he didn't get his next field goal until the third quarter. So this game was straight bizarre tonight. And that, reeks of how bad the second quarter was. Our best player didn't even get you a bucket in the second quarter. He sat way too long. We lost all momentum tonight, and I think Tom Thibodeau is a huge part to blame tonight as well. But obviously Randle continued to ball later in the game as well, finished with 32 points, 6 assists, 12 rebounds, was a plus 13, team high. So what do you give for Randle's performance tonight? Right, so we shot 23% from deep in the end. So with Randle's grade, right, he got us off to a good start. It was our best New York Knick tonight. Randle gets an A for me. He held up his end of the bargain, playing like a Eastern Conference Player of the Week the other week. A preview that he'll play well on the West Coast, and he started the road trip well. He was moving the ball, getting to the, unselfishly moving the ball as well, with the 6 assists and scoring as well, being in the plus, right? In a 4-point loss, he was a plus 13. So there ain't too much more to say. Randle can keep his head up tonight, 14 of 23. In the paint, he was getting whatever he wanted. He was beasting on the matchups. They don't have the size, to contend with him outside of Walker. But he's playing the center spot. So we signed Taj Gibson. People are talking about maybe using Randle at the 5 a little bit, but that's out of the question now, guys. Randle's going to stay playing at the 4. As long as he continues to move the ball like he is, and score efficiently, super efficiently, we're going to be in a lot of games. But tonight we lost. It didn't have anything to do with Julius Randle, right? In fact, he almost got us to the victory. So, next man up, Julius Randle. Get ready, right? We've got the LA teams. We've got Phoenix. We've got the LA teams coming up. But this is where some struggles kick start, man, with Jalen Brunson. A very polarizing performance. 6 of 19. One of his worst offensive outputs was 0 of 6 from deep. 11 of 16 from the line. Credit to him getting to the line 16 times, but he's got to do better, man. 68%. That's not going to cut it, fam. A couple of those go down, and from your point guard, he needs to be shooting at least 80% as a point guard. And then, that last possession, we don't need to hit a three. So it's a lot of tonight is on Brunson. He had his struggles defensively too. THT did start to really target him. He did get 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 23 points, +9. But yeah, defensively with the struggles, the 3 turnovers didn't help, and the 5 missed free throws, man. So, man, JB, this is going to be tough tonight, but poor performance from me from JB, and he's going to get a C for me tonight, man. 6 of 19, that's rough. And then you combine with the missed free throws, and then the turnovers as well. I love the assists. Obviously, he's moving the ball. 8 assists. Guys were hitting, but the turnovers killed us. The free throws, and the poor efficiency, and then the defense too, as well. So, yeah, I know you're going to bounce back, but man, tonight you struggled, Jalen Brunson. It was tough. It was a tough watch, man. So, bounce back. The bounce back is on, and let's look forward to we have to win either Phoenix, the Clippers, or LA. We've got to win these games coming up now. Let's see if we can bounce back. But then, man, things go from bad to worse with RJ Barrett stepping up to the podium. He was 3 of 16, man, 18% from the field, 0 of 7. Most of those struggles were in the first half. He was benched late. 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 9 points, and a -4. One of RJ's worst performances on the season as well. It is a common theme. Obviously, they did struggle with the length of Utah, but maybe the altitude as well. But yeah, that's no excuse, fam. They just could not hit a shot tonight. And defensively, we got to be better as a team. We weren't locked in, switching, slow on rotations, being out physicaled, out muscled as well. Failure to boxing guys out, lack of focus, right? All of that tonight, man. There ain't too much to dwell upon with RJ's performance, so gonna get his grade up. Yeah, so get this popping, man. RJ Barrett, man. Yeah, tonight it really could be an F. Now he did get to the line 3 or 4 times, but 0 of 7 from deep, 3 of 16, 9 points. That's wretched. I'm going to go with a D-. D- for RJ Barrett tonight. Yeah, the flow of the game, he just couldn't get into a groove. Missed his first 9 shots. Yeah, 0 of 9 start, and I definitely could have got an F as well. Buzzer's gone with the C- from Brunson. Buzzer says, welcome back, Taj, as well. Yep, we'll talk about that. Joe says, Brunson being a +9, not terrible. CT. Yeah, look, plus, that shows one part of the game as well. But for me, the inefficiency hurt us as well as the free throws. But yeah, also, I feel like I do, I look at Brunson, Randall, and Barrett. I do grade these guys harder as well because, these are the big 3. And the Knicks rely on these guys to pick up wins as well. So I'm a little bit more harsher on these 3 so that you guys know that. But yeah, man, the next guy up was DiVincenzo, and then we'll talk about Sims. I know you guys are looking at Sims as well. But Devo, like I said, I like Devo's performance tonight. I thought he did some good things. He had his couple of boneheaded plays defensively where he was gambling. That's what I like about Devo, being aggressive defensively. He was 6 of 19, 6 of 13, sorry, from the field, 46%, and a 4 of 9. Shot 44% from deep, 5 of 7 at the line, so he held up his bargain. Got 3 offensive boards, got a nice tip back, 7 rebounds total, got 4 steals, and was 21 points plus 12. So in his starting role, DiVincenzo was solid, spacing the floor out, shooting efficiently from 3. I thought he was okay defensively, but really his size was hurt on. He was limited and was taken advantage of as well at some times on the drive. But he was plus 12, 21 points. So I thought Devo was one of our better players tonight. What do you guys think for Devo? I'm going to give Devo, man, because he was one of our better New York Knicks, but considering we still lost, Devo gets a B- for me tonight. Devo, one of our more solid New York Knicks, but we lost in a game where we should not have lost as well. So I do take that into account. We lose as a team, we win as a team as well. So really defensively we were bad as a team, even though the plus minus does show the individual players. This was a lopsided game. I got to remind everybody, we were up 10 at some point, then we lost the lead, and then we gained it back, and then we went down 17 again. So that's why you're going to kind of see these plus minus skews as well, because it was a funky game in terms of swings, man. But yeah, look, I'm happy with Devo in the starting lineup, but I do want to see him be consistent, right? There's still some question marks, no doubt about it. Quentin Grimes, after his best performance of the season, absolutely stunk it up tonight in his role off the bench after playing great last game. And we're about to hit on Grimes. But before that, let's talk about Sims tonight. Like I mentioned, I think Randall was finding him in the dunker spot. He had some nice slams, 2 of 2 from the field, 17 minutes. Obviously, iHeart closed the game. The plan for Tibbs is simple. It's going to start Jericho, 5 minutes in, sub him out, and get Hart in for major minutes. So I think Jericho is just holding it down. 4 points, -8, just 2 rebounds. He was his size, his limitation kind of hurt us a little bit against Walker or Kessler, and the other bigs. Kelly Olynyk splashed a few threes. Really, he wasn't impactful. Jericho, he was okay offensively, but yeah, nothing really to write home about with Jericho tonight. He's definitely going to struggle against some quality, starting bigs. That is a concern, but we know this. We're up for a tall task. We're out with missing Mitch, and we're welcoming Taj, for insurance. But Sims, hopefully for us, is just going to be consistent, holding it down, rebounding, moving out on the perimeter, able to get out on those bigs that stretch the floor, but not get out rebounded. 2 rebounds tonight in 17 minutes. That's quite unlike, Jericho. He's usually better than that. So with that said, man, Jericho, you're going to get a D+ for me tonight, man. D+ for Jericho. Would have loved him to pick up some more rebounds, but yeah, 17 minutes was a -8 in those minutes as well. So he was contributing to either the loss of the lead, and getting beaten. So next man up. Yeah, keep the buzz coming, guys. Appreciate you. Late night Knicks post game with CT on the West Coast, right? Poor loss tonight, but we got to give out these grades. We've got to look at the reasons why, and look at the road ahead. We are still above 500, right? Try not to overreact, get too high, get too low. This one's real frustrating. Worst loss of the season. But you just never know with these Knicks. You know, they're Jekyll and Hyde. You know, we might come out and beat Phoenix. You know, we've done it before. We played a horrible game, 3 quarters, from the second, the third, the fourth, and we still had a chance to win it. So, right, smash that like button for the streets are buzzing. Now let's get back to it. Right, so that was the starting lineup. And we keep shouting out the chat. Replay squad. Salute. What did you guys think of Quickly's game? So, there's some people frustrated online. I agree with them. I thought the substitutions were poor. Quickly was one of our best New York Knicks, along with Randall, in the first quarter. And then the start of the second. He was in a flow offensively, but only played 18 minutes tonight. 6 of 8, 3 or 4 from deep. 2 steals. 1 turnover only. 15 points, right? But was a minus 13. When he did come back into the game late is when Utah piled on the pain. So, you know, he had it clicking early. Sat too long, I think, like with Randall. And we're going to talk about Tibbs. But defensively, again, we were abused as a team in those minutes. So it's a lot of inconsistencies is what it is, fam. Yeah, Joe saying that's coaching and inconsistencies. Yeah, look, I didn't like Tibbs' substitutions tonight, guys. I really didn't. You know, that second quarter, he's got to be more ruthless when we're giving up a huge lead. He's got to be willing to make adjustments, you know. I'm talking about get Deuce McBride in there as well, if needed. Or light a rocket up these guys, you know, sit them down, call the timeouts, etc. You know, this is a trap game, and we literally, you know, fell into that trap. So I blame the players first, and then the coach second. But yeah, the coach, for me, as well, played a huge part in this one. It was, you know, good to see Quickly swishing early, but obviously it was bittersweet because defensively, you know, he was in the minus as well, and then it was just too late for him to really get it going as well. But I've got to give Quick a B minus for his performance tonight. Right, did deserve more minutes on a night where he was at least the most efficient out of a lot of these Knicks, him and Randall. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Quickly's performance tonight. Good to see him hit 3 or 4 from deep, 75%. But yeah, 15 points. But yeah, was a part of that minutes where the Jazz did go on a mini run as well. Buzzer's given IQ the B for that situation. B, A minus as well. Back and forth. I don't blame anyone for tonight to be mixed on their grades because it was just an absolutely bizarre game. You know, it's hard to describe it without watching this one tonight, you know, for all 4 quarters. You know, you went from like A plus first quarter, up 9, and then we laid an egg in the second quarter. I would grade the second quarter a D, third quarter a D plus, and the fourth quarter a C, basically because we went down 17, and then we made this fake run. But I thought the Utah Jazz really did their best, you know, guys, to give us, you know, the game. They almost threw it away. So then, yeah, after IQ, man, on the bench, it goes to Quentin Grimes. Like I said, after playing a great game last game, Grimes missed 2 critical 3 throws in the fourth. He missed all 3 of his threes. I thought one of them was off balance. It was rushed, and it was deep, contested as well. I think Grimes is still having problems processing the game. You know, he's making his mind up so fast, rather than just reading the defense. You know, if they're overcommitting on the contest, dribble the ball and sidestep or blow by. Right now, he's just catching it sometimes, and he's rising up into a contested shot. you know, and also, yeah, the free throws really killed us. For a shooter, you can't be missing both free throws late. He faded, did Quentin Grimes tonight in 15 minutes after such a feel-good, you know, vibe from last game. Was just so disappointing for me tonight from Grimes. So, look, he's going to get... Look, yeah, he's going to get the full wrath tonight, is Quentin Grimes, man. He gets a straight-out F for me. How do you be minus 27? Right, I'm completely baffled, you know. In 15 minutes, you managed to be a minus 27. That's an achievement, man. And like I said, once we're done with this, we just got to throw it in the trash. But gave Grimes an A in his last game. He was outstanding, one of the best players. Tonight, he was the worst. He was a straight F. Tonight, 4 attempts, though. It wasn't really that. It was the defense, poor shot selection, and also missing 2 important free throws. Minus 27, man. Right. Salute Jet Life. What's good? Buzzer Beater says, when will we see Taj? I think Tibbs won't play anyone unless they have a practice. So I think he'll link up with them on the West Coast because the West Coast trip's just starting. Maybe I'm going to say maybe for the final game, I'll make a prediction. Maybe the Lakers or against Brooklyn. Obviously, the pride of Fort Greene, Taj Gibson. I won't be surprised if he actually stays in New York either, and maybe just links up for the Brooklyn game. But we don't really know if he's going to be in the rotation as well to start. I tell you, if Sims continues or iHeart struggles, he'll be in the rotation sooner than later. That's for sure, fam. We'll see. You know, he's coming off the couch too. The talk is that he is in shape, but he doesn't have the game reps or the practice yet either. So, yeah, it's hard to come straight off the couch and play. So, yeah, I'm going to predict Brooklyn is the earliest we see Taj, fam. But he might be on the bench for the final for the Lakers game as well. So, yeah, after the F from Q Dot, man, we'll talk about Josh Hart. He also came off an A game last time, but tonight Hart struggled big time. 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 4 from deep. One of those no more back-breaking than the miss at the final minute. Down 3. Great play. We found the ball. We swung the ball. Randall found Hart. Or it might have been Brunson. But we found Hart on the elbow. Open 3. He missed it. Clanked it. And then they got the rebound. So, and then we got the rebound. Brunson then jacked up a deep contested 3 as well. But yeah, those misses really hurt us tonight. You know, if Hart's 2 or 4, we win this ball game. So not blaming it on Hart, but yeah, he didn't play well. -7, just 2 rebounds. Yeah, his presence wasn't really felt tonight. You know, in a matchup where we needed him to win his matchups, the length of the Utah Jazz. And I don't blame him. You know, he's playing undersized as well against a lot of these guys. But too many Jazz players got loose. Agbaji, THT, Olenek, and Markkanen as well. So with Hart tonight, man, Hart's going to get... he missed all of his field goals, basically. So 0 points, a donut, man. So I got to be fair. I got to be fair on Quentin Grimes. If he gets an F, Josh Hart gets an F for tonight, man. Came up small, donut, right? Donut without the glaze tonight. In the words of Buzzer Beater, that was a good one, man. So yeah, too many D's, F's tonight as a team, and let some of the other guys down with Randall and Quick. playing solid. And then the other guy, last guy off the bench, is Ihart. And I tell you what, man, this was one of his worst performances too. Yeah, because Ihart has been quite consistent throughout this whole season. But tonight, he committed some boneheaded plays, fouling them, giving them and ones, failing to box out. He was rough tonight, was Ihart. Like I said, to end the third, fouling, a 3-point shooter with 0.2 of a second remaining, that's unforgivable. It's the end of the quarter. You let the player just heave the shot. You're behind him, for starters. He pushed, Markkanen in the back, and we were only down 2, and then we go down 5 to end the third. That killed us. He was 3 of 4 from the field, 1 free throw, 6 boards, 7 points. Was a +5 in 29 minutes. Like I said, man, the box score doesn't tell the full story. I was disappointed. Ihart's performance tonight. Again, just a couple of brain fades. Well, so for me, he's going to get a D+ for me for Ihart. What do you guys give for Ihart tonight? Tay's in the building, 9 of 39, and you never win. Yep. Look, that tells the story. But as crazy as this game was, man, we had a chance to win. We really did, because of some hustle, late steals from Devo, a hot performance from Randall and Quickly, and just that never say die quit attitude late. Obviously, we started to play ball with 6 minutes remaining. The Knicks were playing, tighter defense, and obviously the Jazz aren't a good team. They buckled, they froze under pressure as well. So a couple of free throws or another hit 3, and we have a chance. We win this game. So that's how frustrating it is, man. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, man. Buzzer says, out of 82 games, we're bound to have a few bricks. Best believe that, man. But we're 5th in the league before tonight in 3-point shooting. That's going to come down a little bit too. So let's give the grade now for Tom Thibodeau. And then we look at tonight's action. We look at the road ahead. And we talk about this Taj Gibson acquisition. But a lot of people hot on Tom Thibodeau. I thought this was one of his worst coach performances. No doubt he's going to be seething. In-game management is Tibbs' weak point. There's talk about he prepares the team super well. I'm not there. I can't speak for it. But, he prepares the team for a scouting report, what their role is, what each player needs to focus on. But in-game management from Tibbs, right, as they say, everyone has a plan till you get punched in the mouth. In the words of Mike Tyson, no matter how well you plan, if things go AWOL in the game, you need to adjust. And we failed to rectify the skid. Up 9, and then the second quarter, a 14-point turnaround, which was crazy. That shouldn't happen. So it's time to really start beholding Tibbs accountable for this team defensively as well. Giving up 117 to the Jazz, but the manner we did it, just too many easy buckets. Not reading the offense and reacting, not switching and closing out better as well, and gambling, all of those things. But also, offensively, the play calling, the limitations, all of that situation was super frustrating tonight. So yeah, we're being ruthless. Tom Thibodeau. Right, there's been so many Knicks get this F, so I'm going to give Tibbs an F as well for tonight. Grimes, Josh Hart, Tibbs get the F for me tonight. Barrett, like I said, Barrett could have simply got an F. I might change Barrett to an F as well, to be fair to everybody with that situation. Missed his first 9 shots. Missed all of his threes. So everyone's feeling the wrath tonight. RJ Barrett, step up to the podium again. I'm changing your D- to an F as well. So Barrett, Hart, Grimes and Tibbs get the F tonight because of the loss to Utah. So that shouldn't be happening. And now let's look at the road ahead, guys. As we move forward in this road trip, right? Horrible start to this road trip now, man. And yeah, we're going to feel the brunt because we're in the thick of the East. Thankfully, Cleveland did lose yesterday, but we'll look at tonight, see what's popping. But yeah, we got Friday, Phoenix, KD, Booker, and Beal. It's going to be their second game. Maybe there's going to be some chemistry issues, but it's going to be a tough game to win, man. In the start of a back-to-back. So if we're going to win one, obviously the Clippers is going to be an easier opponent, but on the second night of the back-to-back, it's going to be difficult as well. So I think our best chance might be to try to go all out against Phoenix and get revenge, for the loss at MSG, that awful loss, and bouncing back is going to be critical. I'm not betting on it. I'm not holding my breath, man. But obviously, you never know with this team. Jekyll and Hyde, a hot performance from Brunson and Barrett and Randall, and we can beat anybody. So I'm not ruling out, a win. But we've got to get one of these next two. Fam, what do you think? Do we get one of these next two? We have to, fam. We really do. I want to keep this work we've done early in the season, being 3 games above 500. I want to hold on to that and not let that slide, man. If we have to fall back to 500, it's going to be an uphill climb from there. So I'd love to rectify this loss tonight and pick up at least one of the next 2. Lakers, we play really well. We play quite tough. We play the Lakers tough, and then of course Brooklyn before we play Milwaukee twice. So that is big. Julius Randle, former team, plays really well against Lakers, plays well in LA, and loves to go at Kevin Durant, loves to go at that matchup too. So he's going to be critical. On the positive side, Randle's starts to the game have been excellent, moving the ball with his assists. He's been moving the rock as well. So I appreciate Randle for his starts to the game. And he is playing like that all-star. He really is. We just need Brunson and Barrett and everyone, a team effort to match that efficiency, and production. But obviously defensively is where our main struggles lie now. We've just got to figure out how to best deal with, life with Mitch out. Whether that's adjusting with the scheme, not playing drop coverage, maybe playing zone a little bit. I mean, I'm not the coach, it's up to him to figure this thing out, guys. We can't play the same way we do without Mitch because he's a very unique kind of player, patrolling the paint, deterring shots, etc. If we play drop coverage, it's going to be even worse, I feel as well, fam. So, yeah. And I see you in that buzzer beater, man. I see you in the comments as well with the film study sessions as well. That the guy that is doing a great job breaking it down. I'll put it in the comments section. There's a guy that breaks down the defensive errors from every single team's loss, and talking about missed rotations, drop coverage. He loves to go in on Tibbs with that situation, and he shouts from the rooftops, man. And that's where it lies. As a defensive team, we need to be better, fam. Just to give everyone a quick update where things lie with the statistics as well. We've regressed a little bit in the defensive net rating. We're 10th in defensive net rating now. We've regressed in offense too. We're 10th in offensive rating. We've regressed in net rating overall from 4th down to 9th as well. Obviously, those 2 losses to Milwaukee and Boston hurt. But on the positive side, before tonight, we're still 1st in rebounding. We're 8th in turnovers. We were 5th, so we're sliding a little. But 8th in turnovers is still pretty good. We're not a high turnover team because we play with the 29th pace. We are trying to get the assists up. We are 27th in assists per game, up 1 slot. We've moved up in points per game though. We're playing faster a little bit. We've moved up from 24th to 19th in points. We're 24th in field goal percentage. That's gone up a little. Our 3-point percentage went up before tonight too, to 5th. So, before tonight we were shooting 39%, 38% on the season. Tonight was just a stinker. We put it in the trash, but we are a good 3-point shooting team. So we have to hang our hat on that. We have to put up more attempts. We're 18th in opponents' field goal percentage, 20th in opponents' 3-point. So that's slipped. Milwaukee Bucks shooting 68% on us killed us with that. The coverage is starting to hurt us now with the 3-point percentage. The Jazz tonight, we let them get loose again. So that's a preview of what we're struggling with in terms of not closing out or drop coverage, losing the 3-point shooters. And you can't do that, fam, in the NBA. Yep. So yeah, Tay says, what's your honest opinion on Tibbs, CT? I've talked about it a lot, fam, Tay, and appreciate you coming through the live building. Salute. I know you're always in the replay squad as well. And my opinion with Tibbs is, he's been good for the franchise. He's, been, helped us elevate our play to a level where the floor, has been raised. But I have long-term questions over Tibbs, in the ceiling, because fundamentally he's sound, but he's not nuanced. Not nuanced with offensive plays. Obviously, defensive plays, it's a gamble as well. It's worked out at times, but I really think this year is going to be a huge indication, because we brought back the same roster. Can Tibbs get us back to the 5th seed again? Second round would be a huge accomplishment, I think, with the rest of the East get stronger. I think we can do it. But yeah, I don't like Tibbs' offense, and I don't like his ability to his limited adjustments as well. But he's been by far one of the best coaches, if not the best coach we've had, in the last, two decades as well. So yeah, he's got a higher floor, but the ceiling is very limited as well with Tibbs. So coaches were always hired to be fired. At some point, he's going to get let go. It's just a matter of, what position are we in? Are we going to, fail in our, at the very last step to win a chip? Or are we just going to cut the cord before we even get to that stage? I think the front office is going to allow him to cook a little bit once we get another All-Star. Once we make that bigger trade, hopefully it's soon. I think Tibbs is going to be safe until then, as long as we're competent, competitive, playing hard, above 500. I think Tibbs will be safe. If he does get let go, I think it'll be either we go on just a horrible, 8-game losing streak, and we fall 5 games below 500. Even then, I don't think it's likely. But in the off season, let's say if we get swept in the first round, or we lose in the first round, maybe he gets let go in the summer. But if we make the second round again, and we finished with 46, 47 wins. I think Tibbs are safe as well. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that, fam. But now, yeah, with that said, I predicted, yeah, like I said, we've got to win one of the next two. It's going to be tough to sit here and tell you, like, which one it's going to be. But I do think Phoenix, strangely enough, might be our best chance to actually pull one out. I really do think that might be our best chance. So now let's look at the standings after tonight's loss and see what the East looks like. So we've got the Celtics and the Bucks with both with 17 wins, 1 and 2. We've got the Magic there. Sixers have tied the Magic for third. Then we have the Pacers at 13 and 9. They jump us and the Heat. The Heat 14 and 10, and we fall from 6th to 7th now, fam. Tied with the Brooklyn Nets, with 3 tough games coming up. So that's what I talk about with losses like tonight. It sucks, man. But look, the season's far from over. It's very early days, but we can't help but maybe look back later in the season and say, man, this loss really, really hurt. But like I said, it's up to these guys to really bounce back and get a couple of wins on this West Coast trip now. Because if you look at December, we got Milwaukee twice, both at MSG, and then Oklahoma is not going to be easy. Orlando is not going to be easy, and then Indiana, not going to be easy, fam. So yeah, let's get one out of the next 2, try to get 2 out of the next 3, but it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be so tough. We're going to have to put forward basically an A game. With that said, let's look at tonight's results. The Pelicans continue to ball, playing the Wizards. Philly got a big win. We have the Raptors put further punishment on the Hawks. So that's good to see the Hawks continue to slide. I think they're going to be a team that will have to consider making a big move. I think DeAndre Hunter could be a name to look for as well. Also, we have to mention tonight. I'll talk about that in a minute. But the Heat sucks that they picked up a big win. The Lakers got the win. The big win against the Pacers, Milwaukee. Giannis, franchise record, 64 points. The Pacers assistant coach came on the floor straight after the buzzer to the referee to steal or to take the game ball away from Giannis. They weirdly took the game ball away. Giannis was absolutely infuriated, had to be restrained, was trying to run into the Pacers locker room to get the ball back. Considering it's in Milwaukee's building, I'm absolutely baffled. I'm going to see how it plays out, but yeah, from what I saw, it was a bizarre scene, man. You think franchise record, 64 points. Giannis takes the game ball, but in a bitterness mood, the Pacers assistant coach came on the floor, straight up to the referee, took the game ball, and somehow ran away with it. I don't know what to make of that, man. It's just crazy. But yeah, the Rockets sink the boot into the Grizzlies. But yeah, tonight, what I was going to say is no John Collins for the Utah Jazz, as well as no, I think Keontae George got injured as well. Also, they were missing no Clarkson. So let that sink in. No John Collins, no Clarkson, and Keontae George got injured as well. So absolutely horrible loss from the Knicks, and maybe a gut check, a reality check for Leon Rose. People talking about the Taj Gibson situation, and I will talk about it a little bit more now, but as Brooklyn picked up a big win as well. That's not good for us. So, look, if Brooklyn can beat Phoenix, then we can certainly do it. Not saying it's likely, but we have a chance, but we do have to play better. That's for real. As we see how tight it is, man. Where we're at now, man. We blew this one. So Buzzer says, yeah, we're finally getting star players like Dame, DeMar, and Spider wanting to come. It's been a big difference. Yep. Definitely. The state of the organization as a whole is in a much healthier position than it's been in. But yeah, the tricky thing is taking that next step. That's the hardest thing. They always say getting yourself competitive is one thing, but then putting yourself into contention is the hardest. That final move to make. For me, like a Spider thing is more realistic. I would sign off for that. DeRozan, Levine, I would say no. Anything else I don't really see too likely this year, unless it's a more minor move, like a defensive wing, a bigger power forward, maybe a shooting backup center. But I think the major move's going to come in the off season. I really do. I think they're going to use this to evaluate the young cats. When I say young cats, I'm talking about Barrett, Grimes. I'm talking about Quickly, still without a contract. I'm talking about the Sims, the Deuce, even Isaiah. You could put Isaiah in there because he's an unrestricted free agent. And he's on $8 million. So they've got a decision to make. How much do they pay IQ? Do they stay committed to Grimes long term? He's going to have to get paid next year. Do you decide to sell high now, trade him in a Donovan deal in the summer? Leon Rose is evaluating this season, so I don't think all their chips are in the middle of the table yet. So I get people get frustrated with the Knicks not, getting into contention. I think you gotta evaluate the Knicks through the lens of, where a younger team coming up. We haven't made the all-in move yet. I don't think you can critique the Knicks like you can with the Bulls, the Raptors, the Hawks. A lot of those teams are, made moves, are constructed to try to go as far as they can. I think the Knicks still have, moves up their sleeve, like Brian Windhorst, the guys, Zach Lowe keeps saying. It's all about these draft picks, and some of these young players, which I think are going to be in a deal eventually. Evan Fournier's salary is not enough to make up a larger trade. It's going to have to be some other salary because we're already right at the tax apron. So take Evan Fournier's money off. That's not enough to get another max player in. It's going to have to be somebody else, maybe a sign and trade with Quickly, maybe a player like Barrett as well. But that's not for me, my decision to make. It's the front office. I think at the end of this year, how these guys do is going to factor in. And we talk about it. We come on these shows. We give a guy an A, and then the next grade he gets an F. That counts against him when it comes to the front office evaluating. At some point, you're matured in the league, and you're going to get evaluated fairly. Grimes in his third year, Barrett's in his fifth year. Quickly's also in his fourth year. That's the reality of it. Leon Rose can't be tied to players because his job is on the line. This is a business. As much as he believes in players or he wants them to succeed, if they're not moving the organization forward, he's got to make a decision. Try to get somebody that can as well. And it's not just the Knicks. It's so many of these teams you see on the screen are having to face difficult decisions. Once upon a time, Masai Ujiri believed in the Raptors a lot in that roster, but they've let him down. Pascal, OG Anunoby, Scotty, Fred Van Vliet, Gary Trent, they ended up crapping the bed, and they're going to have to blow that up now. Cleveland, I think, are a year away from really asking questions about that core. Obviously, the Chicago Bulls, we know, guys, they're going to blow things up real soon, so they're failed as well. The Heat, they're always looking for that next star or two. They're quite incomplete as well, and I think the Brooklyn Nets know they're incomplete, and they're trying to build, upon the foundations they have. But spanner in the whole mix is Indy. Like you said, fam, I think Indiana looks like they're inching closer to that, one player away kind of situation, which I think they are for real. I think Tyrese Halliburton obviously is an all-NBA caliber player, all-star, that can elevate a franchise single-handedly. But they've got good young players. They've got veterans, Miles Turner, Benedict Mathurin, Neesmith, Obi, Buddy Hield. They've got a lot of other guys as well. I think they're really competitive. They're really close to us. And they're in that category, fam, with one player away kind of situation, along with Philly. I think a one player away. Magic as well. I honestly think Celtics, Bucks are ready to win it right now. Then I think Magic, Sixers, Indy, the Heat, the Knicks are all one player away. And then I think below them are the Nets, probably 2 players away. Cleveland, I think they're kind of 2 players away as well. I really do. And then the Raptors, the Hawks, the Bulls, I think they're 2+ players away. They're going to blow it up. So, yeah, that's my my breakdown of the tiers. So you got the Celtics, the Bucks, contenders, the Magic, Sixers, Pacers, Heat, Knicks, rising, 1 player away, and then the Nets, Cavs, 2 players away, and then the rest blow it up. Blow it up or keep rebuilding if you're the Hornets. And then, the Wizards, the Pistons, they're going to keep losing, fam, as well. So Buzzer says, when does our schedule get easier, fam? December. Let me see what we have, fam, in the month of December. Jan. Let's see what we have with this situation, fam. So it gets slightly easier in January. The first week of Jan is Minnesota, Chicago, Philly, Washington. So the turn of the new year, Mini on the 1st of Jan, Chicago on the 3rd of Jan, Philadelphia on the 5th of Jan, Washington on the 6th. So slightly more winnable. Then Portland, Dallas, Memphis, Orlando. So basically the turn of the new year, fam. But we do have to take care of business with this stretch. We can't end this year on a skid. That's going to be real tough. Also, Tay says, example of bad coaching, we need a 3 to tie in the end game. I'm sure this play was drawn for Randall. Kick out, but Hart is an option there. A cold hand where you have a 3-point shooter and IQ who is hot. That's the issue too. And I can't blame one specific individual. It's more so the flaw in the premise, the foundations of the scheme, which is, and I know it's reading and reacting, but I feel like in the NBA, reading and reacting is not going to get you all the way because defenses tighten. Players don't all have the same IQ, right? It's one thing for a player to be a beast or practice hard, be physical, and hit shots. but not every player has the same processing. For instance, they can't evaluate the defense coming at them quick enough. Sometimes they can't spot their teammate and what the defense is doing, etc. So if your hope as a coach is that your players will read and react, I think you need more than that in a final play. You need to call plays, and have plan A, B, and C as well. I think in that situation. But what Tibbs gives up offensively, he's better defensively than a lot of other coaches. I give him that credit. It's just a mixed bag. It's ideally get an offensive coordinator, and do what he does defensively. But I mean, really, the argument a lot of people make too is our defense. Is our defense that good? It started really good, but it's coming down. We are now 10th in defensive rating. And is our defense too reliant on one player, specifically Mitchell Robinson? Now we're going to find out how do we contain dribble penetration because we don't have the same rim protection. How are we going to box out rebound? And keep guys off the glass, which does contribute to our defense getting stops. Well, we're first in the league in second chance points. If we start giving teams more second chance points, then our defense is going to drop as well too, fam. So, yeah, man, happy for Randall being on this tear, and that's been a pleasing thing. Certainly, we really need a Brunson, Randall, Barrett to all be, clicking at the same time. Otherwise, it's kind of fruitless. Having Randall hot, Brunson struggle, or RJ hot when Randall struggles. Like tonight, the Jazz kind of got more of a complete team effort offensively from their guys, and we let a bad 3-point shooting team shoot well. So, and it's really been a trend too, fam. Buzzer says I didn't see the Magic coming. Yeah, me either, fam. That's a credit to them. However, it's still very early too. We're 23 games down, just past the quarter waypoint. But yeah, they deserve mad props for being a third in the East. But yeah, the talent's there. For those guys that want to draft, shout out to you guys. I know people make their case, in terms of how to build a winner. I don't think there's one bulletproof way, one foolproof way of building a contender. I think you can do it different ways. There's safer options, of course. Building through the draft, I think, is a little safer than hoping for a trade, hoping for a star, free agent, hoping for player development. Obviously, if you have multiple, shots at the top 5 lottery, you're going to get your Paolo Bancheros. You're going to have a shot at your LaMelo Balls, your Tyrese's as well. Like your Houston Rockets. Look at Houston coming up now too, fam. As we look at the West. On the flip side, I'm surprised with Magic, Buzzer. Are you surprised with Minnesota? 17-5. I'm surprised by that too. I got to give them credit. But yeah, 17-5 is huge for them. Rudy Gobert, Cat, and Ant-Man. They got a lot of stick in the off-season, but they're answering all the questions right now. Also, Oklahoma, building through the draft as well. And then you've got Dallas building through the draft with Luka, but then also adding free agents with Kyrie, with a trade, adding Grant Williams, signing Tim Hardaway Jr. as a free agent. And then you got the Nuggets, who built through the draft. Then you got the Lakers, who won a championship through free agency. And then you got the Kings trying to come up through the draft as well. So I don't think there's any argument where people can say this is the only way to build. I think you can build a contender any way, but you just have to be good at that way. There's fine margins for error. If you are hoping for a star, then you better have the assets. You better land that star. On the flip side, it's not working for the Clips. You know, the Clips are 13 and 10, and they're in our sights coming up on Saturday after Phoenix. So the Clippers underachieving as well. Yeah, reading and reacting relies on outside shooting and high IQ players. Yep, definitely, fam. Good example is Julius Randle's been getting his reads up, his assists, swinging the ball, but we've been unable to hit some of those shots. So, yep, sometimes you can make the right read. Yeah, you need the shooting still. You need higher IQ players as well too, fam. Yep. Also, sometimes just good defense just stymies you, even if you make a good read. Length can be a deterrent. All of that. Lack of focus, lack of concentration. Don't forget, you need to execute defensively. People just think you got to execute offensively. Defense, you can't lose a single second of focus because a guy will blow by you, backdoor cut, drive to the lane. In this league, any lack of focus and you get punished as well. Like tonight, Utah punished. So, yeah, my concern level of our defense now without Mitch, it's gone up to like 7.5, 7. It was at a 6, now it's 7.5. In terms of, I'm starting to be very concerned. Our ability to contain offense. You know, like tonight, we just needed to buckle down, protect our 9-point lead at the end of the first, but, you know, we gave it away, fam. So the Suns are the other team, struggling too, putting together a lot of the free agents. You need good coaching too, definitely. Tay surprised of the Gobert experiment working out for now. Yeah, good one, man, for now. Obviously, they did well to counter the limitations too with extra shooting, you know, with Malik Beasley, with Ant-Man shooting as well, Karl Anthony Towns shooting as well. So, look, yeah, man, this one wasn't in the script. As we get ready to wrap up, you know, the only thing I can leave with saying is that, you know, we could go on another win streak and we'll be okay. But if we start to really go on a skid, things are going to get real tough. As the Knicks are now in the play-in picture, 13 and 10. The Cavs are just half a game back in the ninth spot, right? And then you got the Raptors at 10 and 14 as well. There's huge daylight between us and the Raps. So I'm not worried about play-in, but I do want that automatic playoff spot. And the more we pick up these bad losses, we're going to let the Heat, the Nets, the Cavs stick around as well too, fam. So, yeah, what's your level of concern? Let me know in the comment section. Chat, replay squad, salute, smashing that like button. The streets are buzzing. This season's only a quarter way through. We've had our worst loss of the season, in my opinion. A game we should not have lost, but the show goes on Broadway, fam, as this East is a tightly contested conference. Tough games coming up. We need to bounce back as a team, right? No excuses. And let's get a big win in Phoenix, right? And rectify this thing. We need all guys rising up and clicking. But defensively, no Mitch. What can we do? Taj Gibson in the fold. I like Taj's ability to shoot, but I think he's going to be insurance right now, unless Jericho Sims really struggles. I think Sims will get first opportunity, but I think Tibbs will definitely call upon Taj if needed. Taj can help rebounding, and he can help with the mid-range as well. Obviously with experience, Taj can move the ball as well. He's a willing passer. Well, so I love some of the things Taj can bring, but truthfully, he's 38. We can't bank on it, man. We just Yeah, we can't sit here and say Taj is going to be a game changer, because he's just not going to be that. He's his insurance. The real thing we need to hope for is that Mitch gets healthy. Get Mitch back after 10 weeks, 8 weeks, hopefully sooner. And hopefully we're in the top 6 at that point. And let's see what happens, fam. Salute, salute. Peace out. See you on the next one.